Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I would like to introduce to you guys my client Demi, who is a power lifter. He's a drug-free power lifter. And, some people are going to say, well, his numbers aren't crazy good. Well, his deadlift's pretty dang good. But we are going to work on building up his other lifts, getting him meet ready, and we're trying to get a 20 kilogram PR on his deadlift coming up in the next couple of months because he's getting ready for an event. So here we're doing conjugate. We're just testing out his classic lifts right now to get this up and flowing. And he hit a training max with 105 kilogram on the bench. And then of course we squatted this week also, and he did a back squat with 165 kg. So we know where he's at with everything. All right. And for those curious on the deadlift, he is currently deadlifting 240 kilograms. So again, we're in a decent place there. We want to get that to 260. We want to get to that sixth plate aside for him coming up. And again, he's a taller, lankier guy. So I mean, he tends to be better at the deadlift. So we're keeping the training very basic right now. Now he does have access to a gym, of course, because he works as a personal trainer and stuff. There, but he's training at home mostly with this, and that's okay. So we're making do with the equipment he's got here, and I can make this flow on conjugate. So what we're seeing for our accessory work, we're seeing floor presses, we're seeing barbell rows, which many people call a pendlay row. I'm having him do floor skull crushers. Something that you guys haven't seen in a lot of my vlogs, and it'll be funny because some of my other clients are like, yeah, you've prescribed those to me, I've done those. But now that I look at it, a lot of my vloggers haven't done them, mainly because I haven't always seen the need. But in these limited equipment environments like this, if I don't have someone ready to do JM presses and stuff yet, I actually am a fan of this movement, particularly for powerlifters. I think it's a very good exercise. We have plenty of studies on it. In fact, like I said, hypertrophy studies have been done on this exercise. So I do tend to really like it. And I really like it for my people who have, say, an easy curl bar and very limited space, very limited equipment. Antonio has done quite a few of these. He could always chime in because he's got his accounts and posts on all the social media, because it's going to go up on all my platforms. And, this is the direction we're going to see most of my video content going, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube. We're going to see everything going back to blogs. I'll probably put up maybe one informative video a week, maybe one. And everything else is going to be client blogs and my personal vlogs. And the reason for that, this is what I want to promote. This is what promotes my business. This is where people really learn, people will say, but more informative. I'm like, you guys have like 7,000 plus informative videos. Okay? It's everything you will ever need to know about basic information on training, and most nutrition is covered there. The coaching is really what I do, right? And so this really demonstrates that for everyone. But these lifts were very, very basic that he did because of the equipment we have. Now the squat, this is a box squat. And so I apologize if I said a back squat earlier in there, but this is 165 kilogram. And I think right now his max is 180 on a back squat. So there's some mechanics we want to work on with those box squats. And some people will say, well, isn't that a bench? Yeah, but he's a taller lifter. We can get away with the bench for now. All right, if he was shorter or even average height, maybe not, but he's a pretty tall guy. And we're going to have to fill him out. We're going to have to fill this guy's frame out. He's got a lot of room to grow. Even drug-free, right? Even as a drug-free lifter, he's got a big enough frame. There's a lot we can fill out on him. There's no reason this guy can't be squatting 5 plates. Okay, no reason at all we can't get him there. All right, for the supplemental work done here, though, we do chin-ups, we do good mornings, and I also have him doing lunges, like reverse lunges with the safety squat bar. And that's one of my favorites. Again, for people who have access to minimal equipment, I usually almost want most of my people to have like an SSB or some type of specialty bar in their home gym. And one of the reasons for that is exactly what we're going to see demonstrated coming up here. All right, we don't have access to leg machines. Right? If we don't have a belt squat, we don't have a leg press, we don't have a hack squat, we don't have anything like that, and we don't want to do a bunch of back squatting with axial loading to build our legs, single leg exercises rock. They're very, very effective. But do we really want the bar on our shoulders that long? Because we're going to have to do, 10 reps with each leg, sometimes on every set. That's a long time to have that bar sitting up on your back and your hands up around it. Right? You can put a lot of fatigue on shoulders. Bars like this let us get around it. And he told me when he was doing these, like, I can't believe how hard these were in terms of weight. Like, I had to use almost no weight. It's like, yeah, and that's the idea. We're reducing axial loading. We're putting a less compressive stress on the spine because we're forced to use a much lighter weight while still getting the lower body development that we want. Right, the development from this is very, very similar for most of these single leg exercises to doing a back squat. I'm not going to say it's exactly a match, but it's close enough for our purposes. But we're doing so without putting all that axial loading up on top of the spine, compressing it, because the weights are so much lighter. So it's great for recovery, and it's something I really like to do with a lot of my people. Now, for me, I just use the belt squats because I have one. Majority of gyms and lifters don't have access to one. All right, so then we get over to speed benching. It's standard stand up for most of my people. He's running straight weight because we don't have bands and chains set up here. So with that, we end up doing 10 sets of 3, rotating grips, 3 sets wide, 3 sets medium, 3 sets close. Then I have him do additional floor pressing, rows, tricep work, front raises. And front raises being our delt work for now. And I could always have even someone who doesn't have dumbbells. I can have them do side raises. They would just use plates, right? They would just use plates instead of dumbbells if they don't have dumbbells. And if a lifter needs that extra shoulder work, I'll throw that in. Now, in his case, it might even be redundant. I could end up replacing that with something else, other than I feel like he needs more shoulders at the moment. If it was a different issue like triceps, I wouldn't even have the front raises in there. But right now, he needs a lot more shoulder. He needs those front delts stronger, so we're running a phase with the front raises, and they may not stay in there a long time. Sometimes I like to rotate, depending on how advanced people are. Sometimes their supplemental work gets rotated every 3 weeks, unless I stagger stuff back and forth like you see me doing with my own training. All right, the speed boxes, some people are going to not like the mechanics here. I don't either. That's okay. I'm talking to him about it. We're going to work on that. He's basically squatting to a box, and I want to see a box squat. I want those hips back. Right, I want to see those hips all the way back. We want to minimize knee slide. We want to unload on the box while maintaining tightness through the core in the entire thoracic region, and then we drive up off the box. Then, of course, he finishes off here with some good mornings and the same exercises that we did earlier in the week, and I've trimmed a little bit of that out for the sake of brevity, and that's okay. I want to keep most of these vlogs capped at about 10 minutes, but it gives you guys a good idea of what we're doing here for him in week 1. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.